Having a shared journal with friends is like having a time capsule of letters, art, junk journal pages, and everything else in between that can capture your lives in a meaningful way. I love my shared journals that I have with my two friends, Emma and Olivia. And I know that I've talked about them before, like in my journal flip through video that I did a little while ago, but I really wanted to do a more in-depth video on how this came to be and how we go about sharing our traveler's notebooks with each other. I haven't seen very many people talk about it, so I thought it would be really cool to share what we're doing and maybe inspire you to do your own shared journals with your friends. I'm Emily, by the way. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope you're having a great day so far. It's very cloudy and rainy here, so it feels very cozy and a perfect day for journaling. So let's get into it. A swap journal, like I mentioned before, is just a journal that you share with your friends. We also call it a shared journal or a traveling journal, which can be confusing if you're thinking about a travel journal like the one that I showed in another video of mine, but it does travel around. So if that's how you want to think about it, then you can call it a traveling journal as well. It works really well for us because we live across Canada from one another. Emma is in BC, Olivia is in Newfoundland, and I'm in Ontario, so we're coast to coast to coast, and it's a great way for us to keep up to date on what each other are doing in a really unique and fun way. Each of us started with one of these TN inserts, and we're all going to get a filled up one once we're finished. So this is Olivia's that I have right now because she started it. We have this entry log here that shows that we've all had it twice now. And we've been doing it since February of 2022. And right now it is the end of April 2023. We'll probably finish these in the next 3 or 4 months, I would say. We only have a few spreads left, and then we'll start a new insert each, so that will be really fun. Since we're all long distance from each other, it's a really fun way to just kind of capture where we're at the time and what we're doing and thinking and feeling. You also get to co-create journals with your friends, and they bring their own spin and their own flavor to each journal spread and might do something or try something that you wouldn't have thought of yourself. So it's really fun to see how they add their own personality and elements to each of the journals. There's also something really personal and vulnerable about reading your friends' writing and their letters to you. Even though we talk all the time every day and we do share photos and videos and voice memos all the time, it's just so meaningful and vulnerable and just special to read their letters and their thoughts as they write them down throughout time. So I really love that aspect about it. You get a really meaningful, one-of-a-kind time capsule of where each of your friends are at that exact moment in time. And I also get really excited to just read all their spreads and see what they added to the journal each time I get one in the mail. So it's a lot of fun, and it's like unboxing something all over again each time I get it because they've added more to it. As you can see, we do all kinds of things, like adding in collage pieces or photos or other ideas like music we're listening to, and we can kind of do whatever we want. It's pretty open-ended. So if I've convinced you by this point that this sounds really fun and cool, I wanted to talk a little bit about how you might start and what my tips would be for someone who's looking to maybe start some shared journals. So I would definitely suggest keeping it to a smaller group of people. Like I said, it's just me and Emma and Olivia, 3 people, which makes it really manageable because each of us have a journal. So we're filling all 3 up about the same time. It would be hard to do if you started adding, 5, 6, 7 people and have 7 journals being mailed around. It would take a really long time to fill them all up, potentially. So keep that in mind, the people that you want to do it with and how many you want to add to the group. It doesn't have to be fancy and decorated like this either. This is just something we love to do, and we connected because we loved pen paling originally. So this is like an extension of that because it's like writing letters to each other, but they're basically just kept in a journal altogether. Something else I would suggest is that you do it with people you know will commit, which can be really hard to determine. But you really want people who will be in it for the long haul, because of course it'll be fun to do it a couple times, but if you kind of lose steam halfway through and you don't finish it, then you're kind of left with some half-empty journals, which is totally fine as well. But we really wanted to finish these and do these together. So I would suggest doing it with people who have the time to commit to it. You can also do it with people in the same city if you want to, or in the same town. We just live long distance, so we mail it back and forth, but you could do it in person, and that way you don't have to worry about shipping costs and it going through the mail each time. We opted for these TN sized inserts because of course I love my TN, as most people know, but also they're thin enough and light enough that they're cheap to send through the mail, and because we're all in Canada, we can just throw them into an envelope and mail them with stamps, which we know is like tempting fate because we don't want these to get lost. They're like priceless, but it would be really expensive to do tracked shipping every time we mail it. So we're able to just use stamps and put it into a bubble mailer and send it off. So we kept it pretty lightweight for that reason. And also, you know, we wanted to make it look like we're making a good dent in the pages each time we fill it in. I felt like if you were using a larger journal, that even if you did do 5 or 10 spreads each, it would look like you'd never finish it. So this is a nice size to feel like you're making your way through it at a good pace. It's a manageable size for us to finish eventually. Anyway, we're really lax with how long we keep the journal for. It's usually a few months, like 3 or 4 months at a time, and we kind of just come back to it whenever there's something we want to share. Like maybe there's a TV show that we wanted to review, or just wanted to tell us about a specific fun day that you had, or maybe something's on your mind and you wanted to just write about it and talk about it with us, but through the journal. So you can kind of come to it whenever you want. Usually what will happen is someone will decide like, hey, I've done, 3 or 4 or 5 spreads. We keep it pretty fluid. You don't have to do a certain number or anything like that, but someone will say, hey, I think I'm done with the journal for this time. Are you guys ready to swap? And the other 2 of us will say, oh no, okay, we have to finish our spreads up. We keep it pretty casual like that, and then we'll finish it up and try to all mail it around the same time so that each of us has one journal at all times that we're working in, which works well for us. And then as we go through, we can see how everybody has added to it over time. I really like the types of spreads like this that are interactive, which is really fun. So Emma created this spread about what you're not grateful for and what you're grateful for. I believe I filled this in a Journal With Me video previously, and it's just fun to go through and fill in things as you go. So Olivia will get this next and fill in the final spots for her. Some other ideas, of course, you can do full page collages or just little collages on a page and talk about your day or what you're doing. Like I said before, another idea would be reviewing something like a TV show or a book or a movie that you saw recently or you read recently. Emma and Olivia also sometimes draw in their journals. I haven't done much drawing. I think actually it's in this journal. I did some oil pastel pieces. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, I did some oil pastel pieces, or I was just messing around with some supplies that I had, and I keep this wax paper here so they don't stick to each other and smudge. I mean, they're already kind of smudging a bit. They're just cheap oil pastels, but you can try out different art supplies and do something like that, which would be really fun. I also have this Receiptify thing, which is like a plugin to Spotify, and it will print out your last month's top songs that you were listening to and how long they are, and give you the top 10 songs, and it'll put the date, and it looks like a receipt, which is really cute. You could put something underneath this. I didn't, but it's a cool thing to add. Photos and talks about traveling and trips. Also some actual receipts. Emma had added here when Olivia visited her, and they went on the ferry and they went to this place called Goats on the Roof, and it looks like they had garlic herb cheese bread, which is so fun. I wish I was there. Emma also did this spread on this TV show that she watched that she really liked, and talked about the characters and did some collages of those. So there's lots of things you can do. I really love this page. This is one of the first ones that that Olivia did in this spread, with the collage and some drawings and colored pencils and things, and then this big banana and the monkey. Just so cute, you know. You don't have to write a lot if you don't want to, but you definitely can. And this one is just like currently watching, current favorite food, and then each time we get one of the journals, we just keep adding to the page, so you can see over time what your favorites were at the time you had the journal and how that changes over time. I also like to, let me see if I can find this page. Oh yes, I have this little pocket here. You might see these in my pen pal letters as well. I really love me some pockets, and I'll put little cuts of pet tape and washi tape that they can try out. So I'll put a few of those and just put it in the pocket, and then when they get the journal they can pick a couple that they want to try and replenish it if they want to, and just some more collaging along the sides. Olivia does these amazing drawings of squirrels and collages and stuff. She had thick and chunky on the top here, and like a crime squirrel. So that was great. I'll put the wax paper back here. But just fun stuff like that is just so silly. It can be silly, it can be meaningful, it can be both. She also does these amazing collages. This is an homage to her cat, Bert, that we all love. And she did a couple little collages and drawings of him, and then taped in this photo, and then you can flip it up and read some more there, which is really cute. And of course the drawings, the review pages. So there's lots of things you can do. I am always looking for new ideas and fun things to add. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know on what you would add. Oh, this is another Journal With Me video that I did in the swap journal, where I did this collage and wrote all about going to my favorite stationery shops here in Toronto, like Wonder Pens and Paper Plus Cloth and Hanji Gifts. And I wrote about my birthday recently. It was my birthday a couple days ago, so I wrote about what I did on those days that I had off from work. I still need to finish this spread, but I really loved the mushrooms. And I also did this spread, which is all about your dream Costco/grocery store list. If you could buy any food from anywhere in the whole world, it was like a giant grocery store. Like, what would your dream shopping list be? It was really because I really wanted to use this sticker sheet from Pipsticks that I got in a swap, and I thought it was really cute. So I have this little like shopping list, and I put a little section. I wrote mine already, and then Olivia and Emma will fill in theirs when they get the journal. And something else you can do too is have a guest journaler. So my friend Heather wrote a whole spread about her and what she's been up to, and did some collaging and things like that, which is really fun. So there's lots of things you can do in it and keep it interesting and fun. So I hope that gave you some inspiration and made you want to potentially do a shared swap, whatever you want to call it, journal of your own. Let me know what you think if you have any other ideas. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.